yeah.
Right.
Wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. So happily, their engineering class is the same in the first year. You take physics, you take chemistry, you take all those classes, and then second year onward, you specialize, and it's somewhere in the first year that you actually have to decide what you wanted to do. So somewhere along there, they had the new degree of biomedical engineering, which I thought sounded kind of cool. I honestly didn't have strong idea of what it was, but it definitely sounded interesting. I knew I wasn't interested in civil engineering, say.
Right. But you always had like engineering tendencies.
Yeah, definitely. I was always going to be an engineer. My dad and I have been playing with computers since I was a kid, so kind of fixing things, problem solving. I would play these games. I actually looked it up the other day. Museum Madness was a game I loved to play, where you're this kid in a museum and you have to solve all these logic puzzles to prevent the aliens from taking over the museum or something silly. But it was like an education game that I was introduced to in, I think, a communications technology class. It came out in 1994. And I actually wanted to introduce it to my niece because I thought it was such a great game, problem solving. So I was always going to be an engineer for sure.
Right. So when you got to McMaster, you kind of just found your way into biomedical engineering.
Yeah, I would phrase it that way. It was a very new program. It sounded interesting. I mean, I wasn't sure what to make of it, and I think biomedical is actually quite broad if you think about it. If you think about what I do, which is almost purely digital and sort of digital signal processing versus making a prosthesis, which I think is a much more tangible, more common belief of what biomedical engineering is.
It's kind of like Alita, the recent movie where they made like that arm.
Yeah, something like that. Like that, I think, when you say biomedical engineer, I think it's someone who's building those, and I definitely don't.
So what kind of biomedical? Like you said, digital stuff. What is?
Yeah. So my undergrad covered quite a bit of ground. So there was a bit of sort of modeling of systems, of biomedical systems, how they work. There was some medical physics. So how does an MRI scanner work? How does a CT scan work? And there are a few sort of basic medicine classes, so anatomy, that sort of thing. So it kind of covered a broad spectrum. Happily, they didn't. It was the second year, so I didn't quite get the totally new curriculum where they weren't exactly sure what they were doing by the second year. They had tried it, and I remember the first year had to take ecology, and we didn't, and happily, because I don't think I would have done well in ecology. It's a little bit out there.
Right.
So yeah, I kind of fell into it. I always was kind of interested in human body and medicine and how that system kind of works, and I guess that's been a driver throughout in terms of what I choose to do.